what advice do we have for individual contributors, ICs, looking to transition into management? So this is big. This happened to me just recently, and I could say I didn't want to stop designing. I wanted to be in the weeds. I wanted to take tracks of work, and ultimately, what ended up happening was these tracks that I reserved for myself got very compromised. I said, "Oh, I'll take the checkout flow. You guys do the other stuff. You do the PDP or whatever, or you do the mobile breakpoint or something." And I would do my flow in the 11th hour. Whereas before, when I was an individual contributor, I had all the time to go and go through my phases, my discovery, my diverging, my converging, et cetera. But I think when you're becoming a manager and you're really leaning on really good manager skill sets and you're communicating with the team and you're aware of everything going on in all the different flows, you don't have time to jump in and take a track. And if you're as busy as we are here at Rodan and Fields, maybe in other instances where there's a lot more downtime or a lot more bandwidth or the team is larger, maybe. But in my experience, become a manager, own it. Your skill is now recognizing good designers. It's not designing. And that's a total skill in itself. And being able to recognize good designers and have them become leads and have them present their own work in meetings, and you stand behind that and support them, that's totally as awesome as making a killer Figma flow for checkout, right? And that's something that took me a minute to kind of wrap my mind around. Dhwani, thoughts on this, individual contributor to management?
I know, Brandon, you make it sound so easy, like letting go of something that you've done all your life. It's not that easy. And I've been there. I've had people who've done that. So I think number one is, if you've been designing all your life and you want to grow into management, you have to let go of micromanagement. And you may not be doing it consciously, but yes, trust, hand over small bit pieces, hand off certain things, build that trust the person that you've groomed, that they are ready to pick it up, and then start building your managerial, ramp up on your managerial skills, right? Build your leadership style, learn from what you've had as good managers, bad managers in your past, understand your mentors, different leadership styles, what you like, embody certain things, try certain things. And, I think number one thing as you grow is like, you need to empower your team. You need to evangelize and make them successful. And you can do that when you are a cross-functional leader, right? So as you build your leadership style, understand the power and mediation of cross-functional collaboration, learn the business language where you can have a meaningful conversation with cross-functional leaders, and they may not be speaking your design language, but there is a common business design language that as a leader you need to speak. You need to figure out the ROIs, you need to figure out what they care about and translate that design language into those KPIs. That will help you speak to upper management. That will help you deliver the impact of design, establish the importance of your org. And I think that approach eventually gets you that coveted voice or the seat at the table.
Yeah, really good points. Abhijit, talk to me about going from an IC, individual contributor, into management.
Sure, and I can definitely talk about this topic since I've kind of made this transition a couple of times in my career so far, right? I've moved from an IC role to a management leadership role and then kind of back to an IC leadership role now. And it's a very interesting switch, right? And I don't think it's a one-time switch. You can always move from an IC to a management and management to an IC role, right? I think as a designer, we need to be very open because the growth can happen in both directions. So that's important for everyone to understand that becoming a people manager should not always be seen as the only way to grow in this career. You can also grow as an IC leader. But essentially, the shift is happening from you're solving product problems, now you're solving people problems, right? And to me, a role of a manager is really more of a mentor coach. I think, Dhwani, you kind of talked about that, right? How are you kind of really providing that kind of a cover to your team so that they are growing? And you're not designing products, but you're essentially designing a system that enables designers to do good design, right? So you're kind of putting a system, an architecture, culture, routines in place, which will allow designers to do good design. And not just designers, but also the cross-functional teams to do good design, right? There are a set of new skills that you need to learn, and that's important if you're thinking of making the switch, right? So, for example, talking about business, understanding the business language, negotiations, influencing, right? Those are some of the very important skills. Networking, right? You need to kind of be able to network with wide set of stakeholders within the organization, right? So those are some of the things that I would definitely highlight if someone is thinking about making a switch.